Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII. Oh no, something's happening. Oh, texture flickers. That's weird. I didn't know this game had glitches. Man, that looks cool. But yes, boss time. Strangely enough, this is actually a really easy boss though. Like, it goes down really fast, this Garuda Interceptor. Like, look at that health bar, it's already shrinking. There's a very low stagger threshold too. Like, there's nothing really to say. You could bolster your stats, maybe? No, you can't even do that. What am I talking about? Hope's not in your party. I mean, what? Boom, dead. Wait, did it? Does it have two heads?
What are you talking about? Charging for what?
Its last moments.
Like, I had to fade out there because, you know, it was cut into a completely different scene. One was lightning running, the other one was her running. Actually, there's a couple weird scenes like that now I think about it. Scenes where it just shows them going into battle even though they already clearly are. But yes, Libra time. Yeah, handy thing about Libra, it's not really vital, but if you use Libra on your enemy, then your AI opponents will know all of their weaknesses. So Ravagers will use the weakness of whatever you're fighting, basically. And yes, as you can tell, this thing is using a lot of electrical based powers, so if you happen to have, say, a spark ring, which the game happily gives you right before this fight, then you can actually reduce the damage by quite a bit. So yeah. Other than that, really not anything terribly interesting here. Might have to heal every now and then, the electrical attacks are a bit powerful. Yeah, still very low stagger threshold and not a lot of HP, more than the first form, but the first one was completely throwaway. Yeah, and its physical attacks are nothing to worry about. And you know, I can kind of understand maybe having soldiers that aren't all that strong, but how does that work with something like this, where it's a giant thing? How does it landing on you not do more damage? But yeah, done. Get a new store, a Crystarium expansion, and a silver bangle. Silver bangle is the best HP boost you can get right now, so give it on your weakest character.
Check it out.
Come on, hop to it. Let's go.
Oh, another test bird. Beta bird. I need to catch your name for them. 3DS Max bird. Maya bird. Yep. Luckily, I just found an airship or something.
This'll make things easier.
Yeah, knowing our luck, it's probably missing an engine.
You shouldn't be so negative.
I agree with Vanille.
You shouldn't get your hopes up.
Now, it sounds like, oh, these poor kids, how could they get drawn into this terribleness? But then, at the same time, it's like, oh, kids, don't get your hopes up. Like, is he trying to make it easier or not? Also, I like how they completely non-subtly hold the camera on that bird as it flies away. But, of course, it's completely irrelevant. And pretty crystals, yay! I can only imagine how long it must have taken to create this little area, and yet it's only used for such a short time in the game. The only thing that would make this even better is if the crystals actually refracted light accurately, instead they just trying to brighten. And you know, that's actually something I kind of I've noticed with the graphics of Square Enix in general is that they're good through brute force. They're not actually like clever or anything like that. They just look as good as possible through whatever means necessary. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of having a hard time pointing this accurately, but like, with something like, say, Nintendo, they don't have that as many resources, but they'll do little things like make the water react realistically or have really good refractions or something like that. And that, in my opinion, is a lot better for graphics than just sheerly looking good. Because, like, for example, this game does have some really nice looking water, but step in it and it doesn't react at all. The rare chance they actually let you do that, but anyways. But yes, fight time. 3 whole Psychon Rangers. Yeah, it's kind of a little different fight, actually. You can take out these guys really easily, but more will come. And I'm actually not sure, but I think that if you get shot, then you still end up, like, I mean, if you die, then the still continues as normal, but I just auto-battled through this, and yeah. Gotta say, Snow is really powerful. But yeah, eventually I'll start setting out stronger things, like trackers here, which have a bit more HP, but still a non-issue. And yeah, Snow has a massive reservoir of HP too, so you don't really have much to worry about here. But it's a completely cosmetic battle. This doesn't really serve any purpose but to get to this point. Yep, something is happening.
What's he doing? Watch yourself.
Watch out for those elaborate graphics. And these are the Shiva sisters. Yeah, so this is how summons work in this game. Each character has their own specific summon who represents them and their element. I bet you can't figure out which one lightning gets. But yeah, another different thing, Eidolons as they're called, they will actually fight you first. And these are actually some of the most unique fights, not only just in this game, but actually just pretty unique overall in Final Fantasy. They're not the most creative bosses, I won't say that, but they're pretty unique, I gotta say. You don't drain their HP, instead you have a special gauge you need to fill, and they all have special requirements you have to build. Also, you have a time limit in the form of Doom. Yeah, basically, with these, there are 2 major ways to increase the A to B gauge. You can use Sentinel to absorb the powerful attacks like Wheel Grind, and it'll raise the gauge significantly. The other way is to use a Ravager to raise the chain gauge. So yeah, basically what you want to do is whenever an ATB charge comes up as an attack, land a few more hits, then switch to Sentinel and Guard. And then once the attacks land, the gauge will go up significantly. And I gotta say, the gauge is smaller than it looks, so even if you feel like you're running out of time, you probably still can make it. It's kind of weird like that. But yeah, also, don't worry about HP or anything like that. Even though you're taking tons of hits, you'll be healed by the Shiva sister who doesn't attack you, so there's that. Now that's actually kind of neat, actually. I've heard some theories about how the Eidolons all represent the inner struggles of these characters, and it kind of gets less strong as the game goes on, but I definitely see it, at least, like, for example, with this. You can really see how this could represent Lightning and Sarah, where Nyx is constantly beating on Snow, but then the sister is healing him from all this, and basically what it's saying is just take it, I don't know, sort of. But yeah, whenever LSC deals with their Eidolon, they kind of solve whatever problem they're struggling with. And I guess that's kind of why Snow goes first, because he doesn't really have a problem. But yeah, see, the gauge is getting pretty high, but it looks kind of like it might not fill all the way. Meanwhile, the Doom counter is getting really low, so you might be worried, but trust me, it's not as hard as it seems. And yeah, and once the gauge is full, you just press the square button to engage this cutscene. Draw your own conclusions. So yeah, that's another thing about these summons. They serve as vehicles for all of the characters. Some cooler than others. Oh yeah, and when you get a summon, the fal'cie who got the summon also gets a new ATB segment. You can get a total of 6 ATB segments. The more ATB segments you have, the faster the gauge will recharge, so you get more attacks faster.
I gotta hand it to you for taking him down.
Now, getting 6 ATB segments is quite a challenge, honestly, and not all that worth it, but you'll get 5 at least as the story goes on. But yeah, hey, it's that character who probably won't be joining your party despite the fact that she features prominently on the box art and the opening cutscene, but shut up.
Back off.
You want to keep breathing? Shut up and come quiet.
Good. She knows old mentor Fu. Seriously, everyone seems to have that weird karate chop to the neck that automatically just disables them.
Careful now. Come on.
The 2 different forms of military grunt. There's the guy with a high-pitched voice, who's clearly the nicer of the 2, and then there's the gruff, angry one. There really isn't much variety in anime, is there, when it comes to voices?
Sarah. Sarah!
Shut it.
Hey, want a fun drinking game? Take a shot every time Snow says Sarah.
You two. Why are you helping them?
Yep, plot twist.
I'd worry about myself.
Woman has a fal'cie brand. Something that's kind of weird that I noticed and I didn't really get the first time I played this is that all of the scenes involving an airship are always CGI. And I didn't really figure out why until I thought about it for a while, but basically it's because there's these huge landscapes or skyscapes or whatever that are pretty much, they wouldn't really be practical to create in the in-game engine, so they use CGI whenever that happens. Which is why some kind of unimportant scenes end up becoming CGI, while some stuff that I would have thought would get CGI don't. Also, this is another thing where I just feel sorry for 3D animators. Think about how much time must have gone into all of these unique buildings. This huge city was created, and yet it's, you just fly by it in 5 seconds. It's so, I don't know. I can't imagine being a 3D animator and spending all that time creating all those things, only for it to feature in 5 seconds of Final Fantasy XIII. I gotta say, these sky fight scenes too remind me a lot of Star Wars, kinda. They're a bit more fast-paced and anime-ish, but yeah, like combine that with like the music and such, and a lot of the stunts they pull. It's kind of a mix of like the Death Star trench run / pod racing. Oh yeah, and something that is never elaborated on, but as far as I know it's a thing. Saz is actually apparently an airship pilot. That's what his job was before the Purge. Is never really elaborated on for whatever reason. But yeah, that's why he's flying and everyone else is sitting.
For the love of all that's good.
Next, an update on the status of the Purge. Just moments ago, the Sanctum announced the successful conclusion of the Purge, along with the safe arrival of the Cocoon migrants to their new homes on Hulse.
Is she wearing a banana peel?
Yes.
Oh good, it's this game's evil pope.
There's no denying the enormity of the strain the Purge placed on us all. But
I can imagine, actually, think about it.
of lives
losing an entire city is kind of a big deal. It's not like it just puts a strain like morally or something like that. Like it's pretty, like, what about like the jobs, the resources? Think about, considering this is a modern society, that city probably was interconnected with pretty much everywhere else in some way, shape, or form. It probably screwed over a lot of stuff.
Never even happened.
In all the centuries since the War of Transgression, Cocoon has been spared pulse aggression and prospered for it. It is essential.
You know, that's always kind of a red flag when Evil Pope is talking about something, when they say, because we've been doing this, we have never been attacked by these people that we should totally fear.
Meaning we'll be running for the rest of our lives.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
who is this guy?
I mean, what do they teach kids these days?
Good question, Saz. Could you elaborate on that?
Sanctum Primarch. Murderer-in-Chief.
According to our Insta
Just
poll,
another
nearly
tool
90%
of
of the
fal'cie.
Cocoon citizens agree with the Sanctum's handling of the Purge. 70% of respondents said they would also support additional purges were the need to arise.
Commentary. This is what, I don't know, America? Is this Japan? Or, I don't know. But yeah, just, I'm talking about blind following of things and stuff, I guess.
Perseverance.
One thing I gotta say, I really like how fal'cie factor into the world itself. Like, they actually do show them being elements of the world. Like, this is the sun. And yet also is like the big ball of energy lasers and stuff.
Fly in. We'll lose him in there.
Seems like a good plan, Lightning. I mean, what could possibly go wrong in this situation? Oh, right, that.
I like this fal'cie.
There's more of them.
See, there's always has to be a demonstration ship that shows how everyone can get blown up. And of course, it hits them and they don't get blown into bits. Instead, they just sort of fall. Anyway, see you next time.